Hello everyone, welcome to the orbit of the coding. So today I'm going to show you access modifier in C Sharp. So most of the guys are already aware about that access modifier. So if you're already aware about that, let's quickly revise the things. And also if you watch the video, then definitely you can learn something new in this video. So let's flip to the Visual Studio and see what is the access modifier. Before flip the wheel, I go to the next slide and then see. So here you can see that like private access modifiers are access in the same class and it is not accessible in the outside of the class or in the other assembly. Public access modifier are that is access anywhere either in the same assembly or in the different assembly. Here you can see that. And protected access modifier are access in the same class or in the drive class of the same assembly or drive class in the other assembly. I will show you in the Visual Studio. Internal access modifier is access in the same assembly, right? And protected internal access modifier are access in the same assembly or drive class in the other assembly. So we are introducing a new access modifier private protected in CISA version 7.2. So private protected modifier is access in the same assembly, in the same class, or in the drive class. This private protector is not accessible on the other assembly. So let's quickly go to the Visual Studio and I will show you the examples. Right. So in my solution explorer, I created two solutions, one programming and one access modifier test. So this is the one assembly and this is another assembly. Right. So now I am going to the assembly first programming.css. Go to the program class. Here you can see that I am already created a public class int, and in this class I already created a few methods. You can see that public void get public method, get private, get internal, protected types get protected internals, right? So we already create that particular method in the assembly first program.cs, right? And now I'm going to the access modifier test solution and go to the same program.cs file, right? So if you need to drive that one assembly to another assembly, then you need to add a reference. Here you can see that I already add a reference programming, but if you are not add, then you can need to add, otherwise you can get the compilation error. So how to add the references? So go to the dependencies, click on add project references, and here you can see that I already add the programming. Now click on OK. So now I inherit that class in here you can see that. So this is the like assembly one class int, and this is the access modifier test. This is the another assembly, and I'm inherit that class in the pub program class, right? So now I am going to create an instance of program class. Here you can see that which methods are accessible. So once we click on object, here you can see that we can access the protected, we can access that protected internal, we can access the get public, like three methods are accessible in the different other assembly of that particular drive class. So now you can see that internal is not accessible because internal is accessible in the same assembly. So because this is a different assembly, so we are not going to accessible, right? Protected internal we are accessible because it's access in the same assembly or in the drive class assembly. So now that's why we are going to assembly. But here you can say that also we can access the get protected. So now we have we got the limitations, right? We also get the protected in the different assembly, other assembly, and you also got the get protected internally in the other assemblies. So this is the limitation. So get rid of that limitation, we are introducing a private protected. So once we use private protected private, sorry, correct my word. So protected private, then this is only accessible in the same assembly, in the same class, or in the drive class. So this is not going to access in the other assembly of that drive class, right? So now I'm going to try to access p1 dot private. Here you can see that private protected. So I am not going to access. So you, if you need to prevent that protected access modifier to the other assembly to the drive class, then we can use a private protected access modifier. So if you need to access only same assembly in the same class or in the drive class, then we can use private protected access modifier, right? So you can differentiate the protected and protected internal. So we can access in the other assembly, we can also access in the assembly. There is no sense, so this is the limitations. So get rid of that limitation, we can introduce the private protected, so we just use in the same assembly. So thank you guys, that's it in the video. If you have any query, then please put in the comment box, I will try to resolve with the same. So happy learning and have a nice day. Thank you.